that. Hey everybody, welcome to Nerd at Heart, and we have another special guest today. So my name's Adrian, and along with me is my co-host.
I'm Patrick, as always, guys. Nice to see you. Nice to hear from you.
All right, and today we have Trevor Young. How you doing today, Trevor?
I'm good. How are you, Adrian?
Guys, you know, you might be familiar with the idea that we like to meet people in the community, people that have hobbies, geek, nerd, otherwise, and that they want to be able to actually get to express it, talk about it. Remember, look at the little video on your Facebook page. You'll see what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. This community is all about you and all of the nerds out there who just have some interest. And today we're going to be talking about Trevor. And Trevor actually has quite a few interests. But the first thing we want to do is we just want to kind of get to know and let everybody know a little bit more about you, Trevor. So where does it all begin?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. No, totally myself. I think it all started when I was a little kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you were one of those.
Yes, exactly. No, I think it started with, just as what any little kid is shown when they're growing up is a lot of Disney movies. And then going to the parks like a handful of times definitely helps express that love of parks, because I remember just walking into the theme parks at Disney and going like, this is magic. Like, I at that point I knew it was fake. I was a smart kid. I feel like I knew all the characters weren't the characters. I knew
he's walking around looking at Goofy and Minnie and being like, I know this isn't legit.
You can usually spot the ones that don't by the screams as the big mouse comes up to them.
Right. I felt the magic even though I knew it wasn't real. I felt transported to another world.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where it all started.
Okay. So
how old were you when this happened? Sorry, Patrick.
I'm not. So I went to the park 5 or 6 times. I think I was around 8.
Okay.
Around the first time that I went to the parks.
All right.
And then my first cruise was when I was 13 or 14.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So,
so you were old enough to like really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? So what cruise line did you go on?
Disney.
Oh, so it was Disney.
Yeah.
That would have been really early on, probably, because Disney started later than a lot of the other companies.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Disney started in 1997, 1998.
It's fair to say that, like, your big nerddom, your big geekdom, maybe it's like is Disney related stuff.
Yeah, that and the Marvel cinematic universe.
All right. Yeah. So now, were you a big comic guy when you were growing up?
No, I actually tried to get into comics when I was growing up, and I had like 5. Okay. I bought 5 trades.
Yeah,
and it's just I don't know. I wasn't interested in it, but when I saw the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire in 2001, I'm like, that's got my attention. Those
are really good.
Cut to me try and scale up my bedroom walls at night, just like.
So that okay. So let me just kind of ask, what how old were you when you saw the first Tobey Maguire film?
So it came out in 2001, I believe. So I would have been 4.
Okay. Oh, okay. Darn it! It's always haunting when I'm reminded how old I am.
Yeah.
I was in university, so.
Yeah, I was.
But we big kids thought it was pretty cool too.
I mean, refer to my last name, Young. I'm a Young.
And there you go. Yeah,
he's eternally young.
So, yeah, wow, yeah, the Tobey Maguire ones were really good. All right, so which one is your favorite? And please say it's episode number 3. Is it with the black suit?
I think it is. I think it is Tom. But I mean, Toby is so close for me.
Yeah,
because he's just almost perfect.
So out of the Spider-Man, you'd say Tom Holland's your
Oh,
favorite Spider-Man.
Are you saying the movies or the?
Yeah, he was saying the movies.
No,
The
well,
movies,
I
Tobey
was thinking
Maguire.
of
He was
like the
saying
first three because he was talking about the Tobey Maguire films.
My
And-
favorite of those,
Yeah.
number 3 was pretty awesome when I saw it. Was a little bit bloated. It's all for my birthday.
You're like, man, Spider-Man can dance.
Yeah. But I think the first one's my favorite. Now, a lot of people say number 2 is their favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Doc Ock. It's got him.
Yeah, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock to me is such a tragic character because you get that introduction at the beginning where he's so pure in his purpose that he just wants to provide energy for everybody. And then he has such a change, to
Not
start
to mention,
contact.
he's got such a nice wife. Like his
Right.
wife is very supportive. She's like,
Yeah.
and they really build that connection very early on in the movie.
I think one of the reasons why I didn't like it first when I first saw it was because it was a little bit more of a mature movie.
Yes.
It's not action. It's got a deeper story.
Yeah.
Well,
And I felt
not to mention, Sam Raimi's directing style when they get to the arms waking up in the hospital room. Now, to me, I grew up in the era of like Evil Dead and things like that. That watching those when they were still an art house film. So and going, yeah, and that was the style. I mean, that's Sam Raimi, right? So his specialty is actually horror. All right, sorry.
It is.
I was listening to you, and then I got excited.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
Okay, so then after that, just kind of staying with the Spider. So there's been a lot of changes and advances, especially with Spider-Man over the years. What about the old X-Men films? So, I mean, Spider-Man was Sony, X-Men was Fox. Did you watch any? Did you get into those as well?
Yeah, I mean, I watched all of them growing up, but I wasn't as big as a fan of those.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
so it was mainly Spider-Man. Spider-Man is what really got your attention, and started you into the superhero universe.
Yeah, I think because again, X-Men was dealing with those more mature themes, of discrimination. Was one of the reasons why I wasn't that into it at the beginning.
Okay.
And when they came out later and later, I'm like, yeah, these are pretty good, and they're superhero films. I really want to see them.
Yeah,
but not as much as I would want to see a Spider-Man film.
The thing about Spider-Man that really, because I remember what made him appealing is he's a lot of fun, despite and as you get older, he's one of these characters that can grow on you because you understand his motivations. So he becomes he starts off just being a superhero that says funny things, and then you have to get into, wait a second, he's just trying to live his life. Because and protect the people that he loves, and which is why you get into the whole thing later on, especially like Civil War, where he wants to protect his identity. He doesn't want people to know who he is.
Right.
Anyway,
So I mean, how do you feel about with Tom Holland and what they've done with him as Spider-Man in the MCU since you originally started off the Sam Raimi movies back in the early 2000s?
I think they're doing a great job with Tom.
Okay.
The only instance of where I feel like they messed up is not showing his origin because it's so iconic.
Okay.
I know they've done it twice already, and that's why they didn't want to do it again.
Yeah, but they didn't want it to, keep rehashing the same origin, over and over. So, I mean, I get where you're coming from on that. I mean, but so other than that, you've really enjoyed it? You've really liked it?
Yeah. I like how people were giving complaints about the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy about how it's not true to his origins. Oh, it's he's getting picked up by Stark right away, but in reality, it's the whole trilogy is his origin story because at the end he has nothing, just like he starts
just
out
like the Spider-Man in the comics.
I mean, Aunt May is Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I mean, so he gets that character progression too, especially as you see in the movies, I mean, he goes from this very wide-eyed, trusting young man to very caged, and I don't want to say paranoid, but it's like, okay, can I trust certain people now? Like, and all that. So what do you think? Because I know you've probably seen the news with Kevin Feige saying that they are going to be bringing Miles Morales into the MCU. Because I understand that you might also really enjoy the Sony side of things still with the animated Spider-Man. So what do you think about them potentially bringing Miles Morales into the MCU?
I mean, it's already been set up in the first Spider-Man movie, so I would enjoy it. Just make sure you get I can't think of his name. Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Make sure you get Donald Glover back for his uncle.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Yeah.
Get him in the Prowler suit that we saw him in Spider-Man
Across the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get him into that, and then get Miles in.
Okay, and you just think it would print money at that point for the MCU, for Disney, so to say?
I mean, Tom Holland's not going to be doing this forever, so
that's fair.
I think a good movie would be transitioning the torch from him to Miles.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, I honestly I think he signed a contract for at least a couple more movies, at least 4 or 5 of them.
As far as I'm aware, it's going to be for the Avengers films that they have coming out, and then there's 2 Spider-Man standalones.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's what I understand.
Yeah, and I feel like that those are going to be really good. I mean, I think everybody's going to really enjoy those. So we've covered the MCU a good bit. So are there any other heroes that have really you become enamored with, or you really enjoy in the MCU? Other than Spider-Man, other than Tom Holland's Spider-Man?
I don't know. I like them all.
Okay. I mean that's good. So, shifting gears here, we've talked about your love of Disney, we've talked about your love of the MCU. So, what would you say is your favorite Disney park out of all 4 of them?
Well, I mean, there's a lot more than 4, Patrick.
Well, I'm saying in the continental United States.
So there's 6 in the U.S.
Yeah.
In a sense of what you presently get to.
Well,
no, that's wrong too.
Yeah, I mean, I could presently get to California, but no, one from Walt Disney World that's 6 hours away from me. Yeah, my favorite.
You call yourself a fan?
Yeah, I know.
Right? I call myself economical.
There you go.
Disney's already enough of a challenge.
Yeah. There you go.
Gosh, I think it's Magic Kingdom.
Okay. And what makes Magic Kingdom so magical, if you will?
The magic. Use the word again.
Yeah.
You're fine. It's the first park I've been to, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Okay.
It's I mean, Hollywood Studios is not classically Disney.
No.
Competition for Universal Studios. Animal Kingdom Zoo. And so really then you're between that and Epcot, which are both original Disney ideas.
Yeah.
And so when you get into it, the Magic Kingdom is truly the most magical because it's focusing on the most imaginative, creative parts than not focusing on a specific discipline. Well,
and that's the thing, because with the Magic Kingdom you have all of the lands, so if you have you'll find a little bit of something. I mean, me personally, like Magic Kingdom, one of my favorite areas was kind of Frontier, and going through that area, and I mean it's around there. That's where the Haunted Mansion is, So it's like, what about the size of Magic Kingdom now? I mean, that's the other thing that we're starting to get into. We'll talk about it a little later.
We'll talk about the labor a little later. There you go.
So, but the thing is since Trevor's going to be kind of joining us on our bits, our segments, as we move down through the day. So one of the things, and maybe we'll get more into it a little bit, is just the size of the park for Magic Kingdom is becoming almost unwieldy in a one-day ticket, kind of deal.
Right.
I mean, that's not, I guess, depending on how you look at it. It's like, well, I'm going to have to pay 2 days to go to one park, or I'm going to have to hustle and bustle and skip out on some of this magic in order to kind of get through it.
Right.
Because as everybody knows, or, if you watch our shows, we'll know it's that, they're doing a lot of renovations in that park right now. It's getting the most overhaul.
Yeah, it is. It is. So with, that being said, with Magic Kingdom being, your favorite, how do you feel about a lot of the overhauls? Like, how does that make you feel as a fan? How does that make you feel, as a nerd? I mean, because they're moving a lot of stuff around.
Right. I mean, I'm all for Tom Sawyer's Island going away.
Okay.
I don't really care.
Some people are going to absolutely lambaste you for that. They're going to be like, Tom Sawyer's Island is America's godsend. And how dare you, sir? You are American.
But to serve purpose of Cars Land, that would be pretty cool, but also as an entryway into Villains Land.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd say you're more excited for Villains Land than even Cars Land?
Yeah, I mean, you always got to keep in mind what Walt Disney said is that Disneyland will never be fitted.
Never be fitted. Yeah, well,
since all the parks.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. I mean, it's constantly updating or changing or doing something. Now, as also a Disney nerd, have you ever been to the Universal parks?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel, in your opinion?
Hey, well, so don't mince your words. You don't have to be polite. You can.
well, what I'm saying is, how do you feel about Universal coming out with their Epic Universe park in relation to what Disney's trying to do with their parks?
Well, I say Disney's not doing enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Disney was called under. Weirdly enough, the size of what's going on, Disney was weirdly caught off their guard.
Yes.
The sheer size of the project that Universal has put together.
Right. And because people are going to start going to Universal mainly, doing those 3 parks and adding on some Disney days instead of what they've been doing for the past 20 years, going to Disney and adding on some Universal days.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
No, we've talked about this. Some of these portals and Epic and stuff like that look amazing.
They really do.
And execution is a different thing. But like the anime. See, I'm such a dark universe person, so all of that with the monsters and everything like that, the animatronics and the way they look. I mean,
I'll go into monsters, the Dark Universe Land, but don't catch me in that because I don't want to be scared.
No, well, don't go on the Halloween Horror Night, so to say. But I mean, so you say though that Disney's not doing enough. What do you feel like they need to do more then?
I mean, they should open a 5th gate. They have the land for it. They can set some. I mean, they have a deal where they need to set a certain percentage of their. They've said that they're setting a certain percentage of the land that they bought, the original purchase of Walt Disney World, off to the side and keep as nature. So they are trying to keep to that percentage. That's why the 5th gate hasn't been opened.
Okay, so that's why they own.
There's so much land that they could use. But,
so they just keep adding on to the already existing parks, but you feel like they should just open a 5th park.
Yes.
And we're not talking like, a Typhoon Lagoon or a Blizzard Beach. We're talking like a legitimate, I don't know what they would call it. I'm just going to throw something out there. It could be Disney Adventureland. I mean, something to that degree.
Yeah, I think maybe they're kind of up to what would we call it kind of question.
Yeah.
I mean, and we kind of, I agree. I think.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah. I mean, a 5th park would really solidify Disney's grasp in Orlando and the surrounding area. And it would definitely give Universal a run for their money, instead of just them adding on to their already existing parks, with the updates we've seen coming to Animal Kingdom, some of the other stuff to Hollywood Studios. I think the only one that isn't changing that much is Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so other than that,
I think they also got to focus on doing more for like adding more hotels too, because they're keeping on adding expansions to the parks, right? But they're not adding more hotels. They're not adding more options for people to stay. That's one of the things that people want, and I've seen a lot of DVC, Disney Vacation Club stuff being added onto existing hotels or being created, like the Riviera.
They just finished that spot in the Polynesian, right off the
Polynesian Tower.
Yeah.
They need to add some hotels that everyone can access.
Okay. So you're saying they need to focus on more like more resorts, like the All-Star Sports.
They need to focus on
more value resorts. Yeah. Because I'm telling you right now, I mean, like I said, I'm looking for something this year. And I mean, just the prices for, just the prices that are out there. I mean, what is it? Like, you go from the value resorts, which the highest one in that is Art of Animation, because that's technically a value resort. So, and it's just at the lower end of $200 right now, say in not even peak season.
Yeah.
Whereas, the next hotel after that is over $300 a night, you know, and I think that's like Florida Springs or something like that, that gets to be about that
price point. Put me on the cruise.
Right. It's all wrapped into, a Disney cruise would have everything wrapped into it,
Well, and that's because, Disney has this expectation. If you're going to go, you're wanting to go to all the parks the whole time you're there, and it's just like, trying to budget your vacation.
Right.
I mean, right.
No, because I mean, I see where Trevor's coming from. I mean, because I started to see some people who are going to Disney, and they're not even going to the parks. Like, they'll maybe go to one park, but they'll spend a week at the hotel, and that's it. Like,
there's plenty to do there, and Disney Springs, which doesn't cost anymore.
But staying at the hotel is the vacation. Like, that is the vacation.
Yeah.
So they'll choose one of the nicest hotels to stay at, and then that's where all the vacation money goes. And like I said, maybe one park, which usually is Magic Kingdom, Epcot, or Hollywood Studios. Usually Animal Kingdom doesn't make the cut for the one park people choose.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've given us a lot of insight into the parks, man. Okay.
And then we're going to be talking to you in just a little bit more. So everybody stay tuned for that, because we'll get a little bit more of Trevor in a bit.
Woohoo!
Woo!